All right. Welcome, everybody. It is a sunny Monday, July 20th, 2 p.m. Pacific, and we are here with another Bible study. This one's going to be loosey goosey. We loved your participation. Tell me if the Wi Fi gets bad. I had to abandon ship my last stream because it went crazy. I don't know why. I think there's some construction going around my house. Um, my friend Dina's live. She's so cute. She's a gorgeous lady. She plants sunflowers everywhere. Spreads joy wherever she goes. Can you guys hear me all right? Let me see. Okay, that's fine. I don't need to hear myself. That's not good. I don't like to hear my voice. Some people say I have an effeminate voice and they think I'm gay, and I get upset sometimes. All right, guys. You can ask any question you want. Nobody steps on anyone's toes over here as long as you're in the ballpark of respectful. Even some personal questions I've been known to answer from time to time, but I want a safe space for sweet people. Nobody will troll you and bug you over here. It's not part of any drama community. It's just a hobbyist community. So you can ask whatever you want. I know obviously Bible streams are very specific. They're not for everybody. I'm not going to just throw a bunch of verses at you, but I want to have some personal anecdotes, just rambling to start off. Tell me if I talk too fast. So obviously I have ADHD, and sometimes I'll sway from side to side and don't realize it. But I try to bring you guys the purity of my heart, and you can decide. But the freaks and real ones, they know I'm cool. So anyway, that's how I introduce everything. Um, so I've been through the highest highs and lowest lows of life. When I first came on this platform, I was going through the toughest time of my life. I was just battling with, relatives passing away, having to move, California fires. There's 10 other things. Nothing seemed to go right in my life, and I'm like, I know for a fact it's not going to get any better. But when I came on here, it was so encouraging. Now, I didn't have the electronic equipment and the know-how that I possess now to make really good streams and topical streams and karaoke and concert streams. But that was in the back of my head. I'm like, wow, if it takes me a year, so be it. It took 3 years, but God bless it. That's all right, I guess. But somebody just sent me $1,300 with audio equipment. They're like, put it to use and make me proud. I'm like, you've got it. I never could have afforded this for myself. And even if I did, I would have tried to just sit on it and, I don't even have a bank account right now. Any cash app you guys give me, if $20 or more, goes to a good place. I don't have any vices or bad habits. I don't, drink. I don't do anything like that. Um, but just a little wacky tobacco for the anxiety. Don't judge. But yeah, I'm kind of half Calvinist, half charismatic. I've gone to both types of churches in my time on this earth. And sometimes the Calvinists are a little too dry and judgmental, and sometimes the charismatics get carried away, and some of them believe in all these different layers and levels of being spiritual that you can achieve. And I don't believe you go through the ranks in life, but I do believe everyone's journey is their own personal one, and God has his own reasons for making some seem like they lag behind. Well, he's always trying to teach you something, and you have to just key into it, and it's not always obvious. I don't know why that is. If I can help even one person out here, I know I've done a good job. Meanwhile, sometimes I just feel so inadequate, but that's part of my charm, I've been told. So you guys can ask me whatever you want. Some people come in, they share their meatloaf recipes, and that's cute. I don't discourage that. You can even promote your own channel if it's a wholesome one in the ballpark. You know what I mean? Um, but in the past, I would tell some off-color jokes and use bad language and stuff. I feel horrible about that now. God's been molding me and shaping me over 3 years. But when I first came on the scene, I'll tell some stories related to the platform that you guys might find helpful or interesting. I was like, the Discord just feeds a bad habit and nurtures gossip. And you want to gossip and hate bond to try to fit in. People pulling you one way or the other, whispering in both ears all this nonsense. You don't know what to believe, and most of it's not true, you know. Or the person on the other end of the argument will have just as articulate as a defense. And a lot of narcissists are really good public speakers. They run the companies, they run the show, they know how to make decisions in all these other areas of their life. And God just put that weird monkey wrench chink in the armor just to keep us all humble. But it's a very interesting thing. I've seen the way it play out dozens of times in my life, people I come across. Um, I have ADHD, so I can appear a little detached from certain things, and I'll jump the gun. Like I'll only read half a news story or digest a part of it before I try to run my mouth on it. And I try to slow down and say, Lord, slow my roll, cradle my fist, make me wholesome for the day. Give me what I need for each day on its own terms, and then hopefully it'll grow into a more packaged deal. But no two people are created alike. We're like snowflakes for that reason. There's so much to be wrung out of this rag of life. You know, what do you guys think? Sound off in the chat. Let me know where you're at. It's kind of a slow Monday, but this thing will pick up steam pretty soon. I have good faith God's going to do some good stuff with this channel. And I'm making another one that's 110% pure and awesome. This one has my rants and raves. Sometimes I'm a little PG-13 rated and I feel bad afterwards, but I don't know. God's still standing away at me. I want me some meat sticks. Guess I'll have the last two. So my appetite meds are working. You guys prayed for me. Thank you so much. I feel your prayers. I won't talk and chew at the same time. I know I'm obnoxious sounding enough as it is without doing anything. So what else can I tell you? So yeah, so I had all this promotion for my first channel, and I just had a broken iPhone 8, and like I said, the Wi-Fi towers were burnt to the ground almost all the way, so the signal was always bad. The sound and video sucked. But people loved me for my honesty and how friendly I was, and how relatable I was and still am. But I was always mad because I was so uncreatively fulfilled. But I got tons of promotion and popularity, tons of women in here, and I had like 50 to 100 regulars, giving out so many wrenches. But then there was dozens and dozens of new people every single day, no matter what type of stream I did. Um, and now I'm learning editing, I'm learning guitar, I'm learning a setup of all these little components. So that's all going to pay off. Initially, people might find me stuffy because I'm preoccupied with that, but ultimately, I'm going to churn out a nice professional product, and I'm really excited to take you guys along with for the journey. God's really blessing it. At first, I thought this will never come together. I was so broke, but in a unique way too. So I didn't even know what I needed, much less how to afford it. Let me see. Now I'm getting happy. This is really therapeutic for me. Hopefully, it's helping you guys out here. I know the stream will at least get 100 views base level. So try to promote it if you can. Let me see. Come on, Lord. What's going on with this thing? Anyway, if you guys have any questions, comments, criticisms, I can take it all. Just be nice to your fellow chatters. Doesn't really apply right now. There's nobody here. Dang, damn it. Oh. Oh. Mm. I'm feeling it. Hey, sweetie, how are you? So, you guys can ask whatever you want. It doesn't have to be biblical related or about the channel. Um, I'm not bad. How are you doing? I'm having me some meat sticks. Amazon's always late with my meat sticks. Then I feel bad yelling to them about it. And they got to me last time. They were warm inside, so I don't know if that means they're fresh or they were left out in the sun in a weird packaging. I don't know. One looked like a dog chewed on the end of it. I was like, oh, Lord, no. May it never be, but it's a nice slow Monday. It's good once in a while. I'm not working today. So many things to work out throughout my week. It's nuts. I gotta get groceries tomorrow. There's two of the best pizzas I've ever had. They're frozen, but they taste like real pizzas from a restaurant. This is Woodfire Supremioid. And grocery outlet, you have to act fast because sometimes they don't restock something. If it becomes your favorite, then it's like, oh no, now they might never have it again. But you know how it goes. But I'm mostly looking to get some Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I want me some Chunky Monkey. I want me some half baked and some Cherry Garcia, and maybe a plain vanilla, so I can taste the gourmet homemade goodness of the Vermont's finest ice cream. Oh, I could see why people get addicted to it. Mostly women. It's like a hormonal thing. They crave a nice sweet ritual before bed every night. That could get kind of dangerous. Oh. Mm-hmm. I'm always showing up. I'm always being beautiful. Mm. excited. But yeah, the I guess going through the hurricane of a crazy life made me a better person in a lot of ways. But it also I'm worse for the wear. It's up to God whether He wants to restore all of me physically and mentally. That's up to Him. But I have gained some wisdom and some insight. Now I trained myself during that time, and it still has a spillover effect to what I do now, where I can have these little mini rituals, and they're so easy to maintain, but they're so meaningful. Whereas before, I could bulldoze over them and take them for granted and not praise God during those times and beyond. You know what I mean? It's like listening to music. I'm giving guitar lessons. I'm learning myself. That's something. But then other days I get up and I'm like, why do I have to have the curse of the musician always being broke? I went through a time it was almost like I was allergic to making money. Why would God punish me that harshly? I've got all these peers that have done much worse in their life, and they're 600 pounds overweight, and they have jobs. Why can't I have one during that time? God's like, no, trust me. And I'm like, no, never. If God's always giving us a test or a punishment, it doesn't seem like He's on our side. But that's just the wrong way to look at it. I thought either I was mad at Him or He was mad at me, and we cancel each other out. Being good was so internalized that I couldn't help but be perfect. And when I did mess up, it threw me more by surprise than anybody else that it may have hurt. So my initial response was to go into denial and all this other stuff. And then my friends called me out on that, and I'm like, okay, I need to change. So, but it was just weird. The weird factor was off the charts, but God never said it wouldn't be. He said expect the unexpected, and that's part of life. I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes talking it out isn't enough. It's just a component of our lives. But I feel, I hope I can help you guys. I just don't know. But I know you guys like the loosey goosey, goofy talk. I do too. That's still a part of who I am. But as a way of pushing myself, without being so extreme that I become unrealistic, this is a good testing ground for a lot of things. But from now on, I'm not going to make content that I wouldn't rewatch back and be happy with. And I've got low self-esteem and low attention span, so I never review my own stuff. But if it's a song I'm trying to learn, then I'll definitely watch my shorts back to get like, well, how did I do it that one day with so much passion? I can't seem to acclimate to it. That's another thing with me. Sometimes with practice, it doesn't always make perfect. I mean, obviously I'm old, but it's good for an old man to have hobbies. People at least identify with my honesty in here, and I appreciate that. But I no longer have to be the belle of the ball. It's about the feedback you guys give me. I need stuff to work with too. I don't need a bunch of compliments. And if I'm on the right track, it's nice to know one way or the other. You know what I mean? But I grew up with such abuse that it like taught me over time that I was worth nothing. I'll never be anything. I don't deserve anything. And I just held on to those truths. I had no other point of comparison. Oh. What do you guys think? But I don't want to whine. I want to process my pain through talking it out with you guys and giving you guys a resource for anything you want to ask. Um, if I can do this, anybody can. I'm the shyest person here. Uh, I just do this as a challenge and as a resource. And most of the time, I end up very frustrated. I repeat myself. I don't get across what I want. I'll underestimate a time limitation on a certain thing, and I won't make the script properly in time for the stream. All that other stuff, I second guess myself. And I have to remind myself it's only a hobby. I've only been into this a couple years. Um, I think most of my first channel was luck and promotion for just being a nice guy. And now I can become creatively fulfilled whether or not people pay attention or not. It doesn't matter. Like my songs stand the test of time. They almost always get thousands of views within the first 2 hours of being put into the algo. So, I don't know. It's not for everybody, but at least I'm like, wow, I got so much out of something that took me literally 30 seconds to do off the top of my head. and it's only just the intro of a song or something very basic. But I know music's competitive. I do want to have that little edge to my performances, and I found it now. I'm doing requests, but I'm also doing comedy songs. I'm doing instrumental shreds with the backing track, and I'm combining all that into one show. So join us on weekdays between 1 to 4 p.m. starting at 1 Pacific time. And in the future, we'll do it a standardized time every day starting in a month from now. I have a whole bunch of life stuff I got to get out of the way first. Oh, all my adulting. Oh, oh. But yeah, it is hard to come on here and declare yourself a Christian because people always go, you call yourself a Christian? Didn't you step on an ant last week? Blah, blah, blah. And they'll always try to put that in your face. But God said that's the way it's supposed to be. But we all know they're foolish and they're throwing stones from the glass houses, obviously. But if that's the stance you take, then trolls can, come out of the woodwork. Meanwhile, most people here are pretty respectful and understanding. And I don't. If someone wants to refute me and thinks Christianity is ridiculous, they can have their say. Um, Maybe I'll debate them or whatever. But I'm not that scholarly. I do this to teach myself too. I don't have a bunch of Bible verses memorized and ready to fire off at random, like when I was in Sparkies as a kid. We had to memorize that. It was like the Christian version of Boy Scouts. You know, anything on your mind, prayer requests, unspokens. But you can't. It is strange. Some things we go through don't seem like they'll ever get any better, and it seems like if they do, another thing will take its place. Like when you get older, you get all these health problems you have to have surgeries for. You never know the outcome. Um, you just pray you can have as many things integrated into your daily life to keep you healthy, wealthy, and wise. you know, I don't know. How are we doing so far? Only 4 viewers. This is the lowest stream I've ever done, but I'm having fun. I am an artist. I will not be confined to a box. I don't care. No, I don't want to become another talking head narcissist on here. That's my last thing I want to do. I want to provide some type of resource for you guys. And pretty soon I'll have panels where you come up and speak your mind. Nobody gets to filibuster and step on anyone's toes or insult anyone, but we can have constructive criticism when necessary and appropriate and all that stuff in between. But yeah, so the Bible bored me for so many years because even the stuff I'm into, um, genetically or whateverly, I still have to work on that. Like I hate playing music most of the time, even though that's what I'm known for. But sometimes I'm like, I'm just another bedroom guitar player loser, Um, it's hard to go forward, and it sounds cheesy. Midlife crisis meltdown mode activated. I can't see somebody send me little emojis. That's easy to get down on myself. But then I'll think about, wow, this time last year I was in a much, much crappier situation. I didn't have my fancy MacBook Supreme. I didn't have my new iPhone 17. I didn't have $1,300 worth of audio equipment, including a bunch of mics and even like little effects I could do on the voice and the guitar. Now I have all that. Now I just have to put the pieces together, but my guitar and voice are getting 10 times better than they were last year. And so that's been something to praise God over. Yeah, I hate people say kinda. It sounds like they're stalling. It's like when someone asks them a question, even if they're on the news, they'll instead of just launching into the answer like a normal person, they go so da 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 just to buy themselves a couple seconds of time. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's just so annoying. If you have autism or you're on the spectrum, those things stand out because we key in on these little specifics sometimes, and other people don't notice it. They could just gloss on over. It's like when my history teacher yelled at me in college, like, you just wrote down my jokes. And I'm like, yeah, it was the only part worth remembering, this stupid thing. I couldn't fit things together in real time and scrawl out enough notes to get me interested. It was a 3.5 hour class. Granted, there was 10-minute break. But that's a long time to listen to a lecture on something you're just not into, you know. And what a nightmare that was. But yeah, I had no one to turn to in that time. My abusive step parents, I didn't think they would care, and I was always trying to like deflect and like protect myself because I thought they would genuinely unalive me and stuff. And at some point I compared to my friends' parents, and I'm like, they're like, dude, you should call the police. That's not normal for them to like force hot sauce and soap down your throat while they're beating you and like all these weird rituals and stuff. I'm like, it's not, because your brain tries to normalize that when you're young, just so you don't go completely crazy. Maintain some sense of control. Meanwhile, we're supposed to give it all to God, right? I have trouble with that every day. So I want to tell real stories on here that you guys can actually, not just a bunch of pie in the sky, trust God no matter what, blah blah blah. No, half the time I'm mad at God, and I think I have good reason to, but I'm not sure, and I want to talk it out here, and it helps me out. Uh, does that make sense? It's a good outlet, I think, if you use properly. I'm still learning. Tut, tut. Oh no, tut, 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 tut. But God saves people at His own volition for His own will, at His own timing. And if it made sense all the time, it would be stupid. Because even the smartest person admits there's some category in life they're not good at and they struggle with, which is interesting. I think God just does that to shut us up. And if it has the opposite effect, then shame on us for not keying into the right thing properly, you know. But I just, because I have Bible studies in real life with my friends, but they're all married with dozens of kids, and I don't have that in common with them. So I struggle to maintain that bond over that. Meanwhile, I could come on here and find a bunch of like minded people that could get into the specifics of what I'm talking about. So that's pretty cool. I can't just go outside and have 200 people listen to me talk, but I can have that here. I just want to use it in a good way. I'm sorry if I was ever very surface level and selfish. When I had dozens of women in here telling me how cute I was, I couldn't handle it. I crumbled under that pressure. I gotta be honest. I was very flattered, and I feel so stupid now. After all, that could have just been a bunch of dudes and troll cat, you know. But no, because I talked from behind the scenes. But that's so lame. I feel like I wasted all that time just because I was flattered during a rough time in my life. The flattery hit me right between the eyes, and it hit me 10 times harder than it would have had I not been going through a tornado of sorts in my life. So I made an error in judgment in a big way that I normally would not make, and I feel doubly bad knowing that. Does that make sense? And if I sound stuck up, just call me out on it because I'm not trying to cover all. It's a weird thing. Life is just weird. But I know you guys can relate. It's pretty cool. I could come on here and make you guys think I'm a big superhero. You know, all my theatrics and all my planned out stuff. But when I come on here loosey goosey in the raw, there's something to be said. That being said, I want to become more entertaining because I'm used to that. So music allows me to entertain in these short, sharp little time capsule things. When I talk, hopefully I get some practice, but it's not my strong suit. It's a challenge, and it's fun. Maybe 40% of the time. I don't know. But what do you guys think? You have favorite Bible verses during times of trouble? Anything you want to weigh in on? Oh no, we're gone too long already. Let's see. Oh. See me, Lord. 7 views in 30 minutes. That's the lowest stream of my life. I think it's an algorithm thing. I've got to just have a separate Bible study channel like a normal human being, right? then you guys aren't confused, and neither is the algorithm. Ugh. Let me see. I think I'm gonna make a pizza. How does that sound? Yeah, you can ask whatever questions you want. I'll be here another 5 minutes at least. And I'm trying to train my audience to devour shorter, sharper content. But the truth remains, if you liked even 1% of me before, you'll be 1,000 times happier than you were back then. Because I've really outdid myself in a way. And you know it's true because when have you ever heard me say something positive about myself? And I'll wait. Never ever. I only repeat what others have said because it's encouraging. Because I've been called a moron and a good for nothing most of my life. So I'm trying to convey that to you guys. So this wasn't very biblical. This wasn't very thorough. I just want to share how God's working or not working in my life, and I just want to put all my cards on the table if it helps. Couple more chambers left. I'm gonna make a pizza. It's stuffed crust, which I don't eat. I don't like, but I got it by accident. Either that or it was on sale. I don't remember. But I don't like a lot of mozzarella cheese. I'm a self-hating Italian. I don't like pasta. Some ravioli and tortellini is good. I don't like the starchy sauces. All the salt and stuff. I'm kind of sensitive towards it. Um, okay. What time is it? 2:30. All right. If you guys have no questions, comments, or critiques, I'm off to eat my pizza. Do, do, do. Yes, I'm a very nerdy individual. I live alone and I do my own thing. But sometimes it is weird. I couldn't anticipate wanting to become more social in the second half of my life. I just kind of flipped a switch a little bit. So I have to be patient with God. Nothing is set in stone. Sometimes in a good way, we can overcome a lot of stuff in Him. But I am a very real person to come on here. I'm super imperfect. I have so many weird quirks in one sense. It could be considered as such. So I would never come in here and call someone else a piece of garbage. Unless it was one of my friends I was roasting. They were paying me to do a comedy song or something. But you guys know. I know it makes me boring sometimes, but I just don't like it, especially with women. I love women. I had 7 stepsisters. I always had to fight off the dudes who try to date them. So I'm nice to women naturally. Most of my friends are female in real life too. So I have more in common, but I like the empathy, the sympathy. I like they're easier to talk to. There's 1,000 other elements that they have, and most guys are bitter against women. So some are confused. They don't know which way to turn. I root for my bros deep down, but I'm not a guy who beats his wife and just drinks at bars looking for fights. I don't relate to a lot of what other men consider macho right out of the gate. I'm a sensitive artist. I've always been sweet to people. If that makes me gay or lame, or you want to avoid me because of that, I understand. You know, but that's my overall category, and I'm happy with it. We're not meant to transcend everything. There's a such thing as a wheelhouse with limitations sometimes, but sometimes the limitations aren't so limiting at all. Like the fact that I'm not married, I could work on all my musical projects. I can do all this fancy stuff whenever I want. There's something to be said for that, you know. And maybe the trade-off is I don't get the one person that knows me so intimately and wants to spend every second of the day with. Um, but I don't need that as a feather in my cap. I would only need that if God tells me I need it, you know. So anyway, I will see you guys in the YouTube streets. Come join our karaoke parties. They're so much fun. Come hang out at our acoustic hangouts. I make lyrics from stuff you guys type in chat, and we just laugh, laugh, laugh. Thank you guys.